Traumas are cages on the mind that essentially bind us on those moments for long periods of time. Because we don't deal with traumas and we keep trying to run away from them in our daily lives, what happens is we never surpass our traumas and we never integrate the information of those moments within ourselves, accepting that information as it is. So, the problem with traumas is the reason you have a trauma around a certain experience, it's because the intensity of the experience in terms of the emotions you get when you think about it is just so intense that it really bothers you. So you create a resistance around the experience. You essentially cannot integrate the information within yourself and you can't accept that thing to occur. And this is why the trauma keeps triggering us and bothering us. If we keep running from the trauma, if we keep pretending that is not there and trying to hide it in our minds, it will never go away. So it will keep there and it will be a cage that you have there. And because that information is not really integrated with the rest of your mind, you will always have repercussions in your life moving forward because of what happened to you with those traumas. So, the best way to deal with traumas is actually to do the opposite of what most people do. So, what you want to do is to deal with the traumas, playing them in your mind over and over, and asking yourself why that happened to try to understand the whys, but actually outside of your person in the trauma. Remember that the traumas are usually caused by other factors and they're caused to yourself. But if you can actually try to see what happens outside of yourself without really judging or interpret the information through your own perspective, if you try to see it from outside of anyone, like you're just seeing a movie playing out, and it's not even you that is there, you're just seeing actors playing the movie itself. You play that information over and over, just like it's a movie, and you may get another perspective on what happened. You may understand that the persons or the thing that caused you the trauma was actually something that you couldn't control. The persons may not have their intention of actually hurting you, or it couldn't be necessarily to do something bad to you. Regardless of this, if you keep playing the experience in your mind over and over again, you will realize with time that that experience actually normalizes, which means the same way you're eating your lunch is the same way you will just go through that experience and the emotions you get is essentially similar. So it doesn't bother you anymore. It doesn't trigger you. And the reason why is because the mind has the capacity to integrate all the information. So as you keep playing the information that you're not able to integrate. The mind actually does that for you. You just have to play it over and over. Imagine like you're watching a horror movie and the movie is really scary. And actually, after you see that movie, you can't even sleep straight. So it really bothers you. But if you keep watching that movie over and over, you just know what's going to happen and you start to normalize the situation that occurred. So all of a sudden, the movie, it's not a horror movie anymore. It actually becomes a normal movie for you. And this is what we have to do to our traumas. It's essentially the same. And the reason we have these traumas for a lot of time, it's because we keep running away from them and we don't want to remember. So all the time they came up to our minds, we just try to forget that and we try to evade the memory and just do something that makes you forget about it. But this is a problem. You never forget about something that really traumatized you. And if you never face it, if you never play it in your mind, you will be living through years in which you are conditioning yourself to that experience that is imprisoning you in a way because you can't even deal with something that is inside of yourself. You can't get it away from that. It's within you. So the best thing you can do is to play over and over. And instead of having a trauma for years, you can actually deal with the trauma in a couple of weeks or even some days. Because if you have a lot of time to keep playing it on your mind over and over, with time, it will normalize. And the more time you have to do this, the faster it will normalize. So, another perspective is that, for example, I can tell you that essentially I had three moments that were the most traumatic in my life. And on those moments, my life just went to the ground. So essentially, it just destroyed me. I felt that I was destroyed. But one thing that I actually did without realizing was just playing the situation in my mind over and over. And the most traumatic experience in my life, I actually surpassed it in just a matter of 2 or 3 months because I was playing it to try to understand why that thing happened because I couldn't understand. And the truth is, it took some time to actually understand the why. But with time, you can get a conclusion in which everything happens for a reason. And the things that you perceive as being the hardest usually tend to be the ones that makes you attain the biggest power in yourself and allow you to go to a whole new level in your life that eventually you couldn't even reach if that event never occurred to you. So, if you actually trace back some people's stories, you understand that a lot of them were actually triggered by traumatic experiences to become essentially very powerful and allowing themselves to reach their own dreams. Because the trauma is a trigger that is trying to prove you that you are worth nothing. And the moment the world is pointing the finger to you to say that you are nothing, it's the moment you either gave up on your life, or you decide to stand up and tell the world, I will prove to you that I'm way more than what you think. And this is the moments in which we have so much power that nothing can stop us. And we understand how unlimited we actually are in achieving everything in life. So the traumas are essentially moving forward. As long as you understand that all you have to do is surpass it and stand up again and fight for what you dream about. The traumas are the best thing that can happen to you because with time, those things that took you down, those are the things that will make you stand up stronger than ever